This is one of the best running plays, and I have a full scheme built around it. Coming up next. Hey, this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that actually shows you full games of all the tips and schemes I post on my channel. I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Alright, so guys, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also that notification icon so you can get my daily uploads. Primary reason is to actually show you live games of me using this against live opponents using these particular schemes. And this is going to be the second formation I broke down out of the New Orleans playbook. This is going to be meta-free zone. I'm going to try to use formations that are not getting spammed online. So if you are using the New Orleans Saint playbook and you're just looking for a little bit more depth, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see me using this in gameplay so you can watch my reads. Now we're going to take a look at the weak pro, which is a formation that I generally never use, but the reason I gravitated towards it is because of a particular running play. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you some of the audible adjustments I do. So you can see right here, one of the base audibles is going to be the 94 will. We're going to leave that. The other audible is going to be the play action boot left, which we're going to leave that audible in. And then another audible that we're going to go ahead and put into our audibles is going to be the play action boot. So typically this particular play is a little bit different. I usually have slants, quick slants is one of our base audibles. We're going to switch that out for skinny posts. And the other audible, which is standard, is going to be streaks. We're going to flip that out for the play action boot. So we're going to play action boot going to the right, play action boot going off to the left. It's critical that for the success of this formation is that you know how to run the ball effectively. So I'm going to take a look at basically two running plays. The most powerful running play is going to be play action O weak, and then I might jump into the counter F is our other run play, and then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the skinny post. So we're going to run the ball really against random defenses, and then we're going to jump into the pass plays from there. All right, so with this particular play, this run, I like to keep it off to the left-hand side for the majority of the time, and I'm going to go ahead and ID the mic on the outside defender off the edge. So it's either going to be a linebacker or it's going to be a defensive end. A lot of times it's going to be a defensive end if you're running against 43, but if it's going to be a 34, it's going to be a linebacker. And really what we're going to do is we're going to try to take this ball to the outside. Now typically we're not going to run inside the tackle. We're going to run off to the left-hand side. So now we got basically an overlook right here. So we've got a linebacker off the left-hand side. And as you can see, that safety came down and tried to defend the outside, and I was able to pick up some fairly easy yards. So once again, we've got a stack box. I've got 8 guys on the field. We're going to go ahead and try to block that left-hand side and just cut it back in. We're still always going to stay to the left of the tackle. The tackle is going to be the guy that we're going to be trying to get to the left-hand side because we've got the pulling guard, so you can pick up some pretty major yards that way. Now, occasionally you can flip this play. It works like a power O, but it's not really the most effective power O. And I want to take out that middle linebacker with the ID the mic. So you can go ahead and flip the play really quick, and it works fairly effectively. And as you can see right here, I've got a stack box. So I'd probably check out of this and go into a pass play, but right here I'm able to go and pick up some fairly good yards right there with this particular play. So this run play is extremely effective. If you can pop some fairly big runs against your opponent with it, you might have a stack look like this. But if you've got, you want to go ahead and try to just establish this run against your opponent. So let's flip it. So we got a cover 3 sky look, and as you can see, I'm able to go and pick some fairly good yards. Now you've also got the will. The problem with this will run is that you cannot flip it to the back side. It always has to run off to the right hand side. So you might want to stay with that power O as your primary play. You know, I consider putting a dive in place of this, but the dive really doesn't make much of a difference, and there's a split play too. So this might be able to catch your opponent off a little bit. You've obviously got this run over the middle, so It's not as effective as the power O weak, but you can definitely catch your opponent if he starts pursuing, he starts bringing guys down into, if he starts trying to defend the outside, that you can pick some pretty good yards with it. So that's what I do like about the will. Another play that we actually would use may be the counter F, but the counter F is not as effective as the power O. So it's just a supplement play that you can jump into. So power F, the blocking is a little bit goofy. You know, it works for you, but here's the problem with power F. You can't flip it off to the left. It has to run the way it's supposed to run. So that's one of the disadvantages of the counter F. It's just not, it doesn't provide you the flexibility to flip it. So that's what I probably would stay with the power O as our base play. But you can throw that counter F in once in a while. But this formation is going to be running the power F, or the power O weak, and then maybe jumping into the counter F. But I would probably not run it a lot. I'm not real big on counters this year. I just don't think they're that effective. So you could throw it in the scheme, but I want to avoid that. So let's take a look at the pass plays. We've got basically 3 pass plays that are very effective, and it attacks the middle of the field. It also attacks the outside and right, and also the outside left. And we're going to run this in a format where I'm going to run it against random defenses, or actually against certain defenses. And I'll run both 3 plays so you can take a look at your reads. Alright, so if our opponent's in a man blitz, we can go into the first play, which is going to be skinny post. This is how I like to run skinny post. This is just my preference. I like to go ahead and take my fullback and put him on a option route, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my backside receiver, which is going to be Thomas. I'm going to put him either a deep comeback route or just an out route. Especially off coverage, you can do a smart route and out route. And you could pop that for an easy completion against any kind of hot read. So if you don't have press look, you can definitely use that. Obviously, if press, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and either fade up or basically streak up my defender. And if I beat him, I'll just go ahead and try to rack him and pick up a big gainer right there on the back end side. So defensive back made a good play, but that's going to be one of those areas of the field that we're going to go ahead and take a look at. Now, the reason why I want to go ahead and take Thomas, and actually he's got a skinny post on the left-hand side, try to keep people out of the area on the backhand side, because this skinny post always gets very good separation, especially against man coverages and a lot of different man coverages. But if we leave it as is, these guys are going to run into each other. So that's why I like to go ahead and choose one area of the field with the skinny post. So another thing, the option route is really cool because it actually works as an out route. So if you got the time, what you can do is you can hit that fullback route on the out. So that, and he gets, look at the depth he gets. He gets almost 10 yards depth. So it's very, very cool. Now the other play we got right here is going to be play action boot. I basically got 7 guys blocking. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and shift my line, or take my line and shift them off to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and try to ID the mic on the backhand side. So it's going to have that running back. Now, we're really going to watch again. He's going to be the first progression to read that we're going to take a look at, and then we're going to go ahead and do underneath from there. So the pressure came in really hot, so I just got rid of back to the fullback. Which you can see he just gets very good separation. So we're going to block off to the right, and then we're going to go ahead and ID the mic. We're going to use this edge rusher to ID the mic, so our running back has got a responsibility. Now with basically on the backhand side, you've got that circle route against man coverage, so he's going to be wide open. But with this amount of guys blocking for you, you should get fairly good separation. And you should be pretty confident about it with the separation. So we want to make sure that we've got our blocking assignment set up so we got enough time. You've also got this route on the backhand side, but you can see there was a lot of people on the in the area over there. So it looked like there was a yellow zone in the area. So I probably would have stayed away from that route. It just takes a long time to progress over the middle. So hill again is going to be the area that we're going to look at more than anything else. Those are going to be the areas we're going to look at with this particular route. So let's see if we can get, nope. we had to go ahead and take that up route. That crossing route by Hill was just not going to get available to me with this type of defense. So on the backhand side, we've also got this particular play, which is going to be play action boot. So the final play we're going to take a look at is going to be the play action boot left. And what I like to do is I like to either streak up or fade up my outside receiver Thomas, especially against press coverage. We're going to look high-low. On the flat routes, you can see right here, I'm able to pick up a good 30 yards because the defenders are actually out of position because they have to honor the play action. So let's go ahead and take streak up my guy once again, and I'm just going to go ahead and just keep just labeling that crossing route right there by Fleener. And it's just is wide open. That's going to be the high percentage pass. So as you can see right here, I'm going to be able to pick up a good 15 yards right there, and if I racked it, I probably would have picked up some more yards. Now in this type of situation, this is a high risk, high reward type situation. So my recommendation is that if you want to take that shot, that's fine. Let's see if we can get it. It looks like we're going to be able to get it. You're not going to run into a lot of people that run goal line, but you're going to see people that will press on man coverage, and that way you're going to get an opportunity with this particular play. So what if you got an opponent that runs a lot of cover 2? Well, you can go ahead and do the same type of setups as before. And once again, if you got the outside, you know that area, the defender is actually going to go ahead and put his butt to the sideline, and that's going to give you a cover 2 shell tell with Thomas. So got a deep comeback route, he puts his butt to the sideline, you can go ahead and attack underneath. A lot of those defenders are going to float up. Now if they play hard flats, basically that area by the field is going to come down, and then you're going to have that backside slant or skinny post that you can go ahead and attack. But I would look to the inside of the fields. This is going to be the area that you're going to go ahead and look to, because you could see actually those guys just float up, and that's going to be the area that you want to go with this ball. Not the best play against cover 2, so if you got a guy that runs a lot of cover 2, I'd probably stay out of this play. There's much better plays that you can go in and attack against your opponent. You can obviously go ahead and wait for this route to develop on the backhand side, but that's usually a fairly patient player that's going to go and look at those type of things. So that's probably not going to be the route that you want to go with. But high percentage routes are going to be probably the area that you want to do. A nice little low pass lead, you'll be able to get that off. Now the other play that we could take a look at is going to be a play action boot against cover 2. So we're going to go ahead and shade protect and look high-low. So first you're going to look at the circle route. The circle route is going to be one of the areas that you're going to look at against cover 2. So I would probably take a look at this play against the cover 2 spammer. If he runs a lot of cover 2, this is going to allow you to go and attack the sidelines and attack the flats against him. So he's not going to be able to cover those 2 areas unless he does some kind of a hybrid coverage. We got hard flats, and as you can see right here, I'm going to be able to go and attack the sideline. So what about if we go into the play action boot left? Well, it's pretty much the same look. Let's just go ahead and shade our line off to the left hand side to give ourselves a little bit more time. And what's going to happen is this guy is going to get wide open on the back end side. So if we get a nice little good pass, that's going to open up things for us. So right there. And you can do a little rack catch right there and take it up the sidelines. Now also another thing too is that if your opponent's defending the sidelines, they're very conscious of it, and if you got the time, you can hit this route on the back end side. So you can see again right there, actually has got a good opportunity to do it. It's a long developing post route, so I would not recommend doing it. But what's cool about it is that it's a huge throw. Like, this guy is going to be wide open, and you should be able to go against cover 2. You should be able to get a nice one-play touchdown against cover 2. So if he puts a deep blue in the area, obviously if he manually puts a deep blue in the area, that's going to really open things up for you. because there's just not going to be anybody in the area to go ahead and play against us. So let's see here. Here you go. See, one play touchdown. You know, got a burner like Ginn, your backside wide receiver. He's going to get the separation that you want against cover 2. So against cover 2, I'd probably stay away from skinny posts, and then I'd actually go ahead and use these two routes right here. Those are going to be the areas we're going to go with. So let's go ahead and take a look at cover 3 as our next coverage that we'll see. So if our opponent's running a lot of cover 3, once again, you can go ahead and use the same kind of a concept on the backhand side. But what's cool about it is this skinny post gets a nice real separation. It's not as flat. So that is what I do like about it. So if you've got a 3 high safety look, then that's going to be one of those areas that you want to go and look at. As you can see, I'm going to be able to pick up some fairly easy yards against the skinny post. Also, you know, if you got off coverage, I love the simplicity of this, and that's just basically doing a quick out route. You're not going to really have, most defenders are not going to fall in an area, and if they do, you can, if they really bite on it, then you've got the underneath routes that you can take a look at. So if the defender falls down, you've got the deep post on the backhand side that you can go and hit for easy yards. And it's just going to pick up easy yards with that skinny post. So it's going to be an area that I'm going to go to if the defenders if your opponent goes over the top of the coverage. I'm going to do a little hot route here and take the easy out right there with the smarted out route. So that's just another area that you can attack your opponent if he's not pressing. And if you can press, I would just go and streak him up. And that should open up, that should give you another opportunity to hit that deep post over the middle. So that's how we're going to go ahead and attack any kind of a cover 3 look with skinny post. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the boot play. Once again, we're going to go ahead and slide our line off to the right, so it gives us enough time. I'm going to watch the circle route, and if we can, we're going to go ahead and hit the sideline with the circle route, because the circle route is going to be the area that we're going to really get to attack our opponent with. So let's see if we can do this again. Slide our line off to the right to give us just a little bit more time. Flat is wide open. I'll take a 15-yard gainer in the flat with a fullback all day long. Not a common defense you should see against this set, but you can see right there, if the middle of the field is wide open, you're going to be able to pick up a good 20+ yards on that one route. What's cool about it is this is basically a stock play. You're not making any kind of adjustments whatsoever, and it's going to give you some opportunities to make some huge yardage. So 20+ yards with this particular play. Here we go. So 25 yards right there with a nice little possession catch. On the backhand side, once again, we're going to streak up Thomas. I want that guy cleared out, and we're going to do the high-low, and I'll take the low with this back route. Now against cover 3, Ginn's route is dead to me. I'm not going to be able to get that off, so I'm just looking high-low. If I got an opponent that runs a lot of cover 3, I probably want to stay away from that. And you know, you might want to take off if this actually gets covered up. If he's in a Mabel coverage, just go ahead and probably just go ahead and get rid of the ball. So I just held on the ball. It's a little bit too long, but you want to take a look at the flat. See, we got the one-on-one shell on the backhand side, and we're just going to go ahead and hit this little crosser over the middle like that. That's going to give us an opportunity to go and pick up some fairly good yards. So this is not a play I'm going to jump into if I give my opponent's showing me a lot of cover 3. I'd probably I'd go into other routes, because it's really going to it's going to take my route progressions down to basically two only, opposed to you know, other different types of route progressions. So you can see right here the ball sails. It's not good against cover 3, so don't take that back post. It's not going to be a good read for you. You're better off making any kind of adjustment, maybe a slant on the back end side against cover 3 if your opponent's running a lot of cover 3, so it just gives you just another read, a fast read, or maybe a drag route or an end route on the back end side, so against cover 3. So let's just go ahead and take a look at that real quick. I know it's not sexy because you don't have a deep ball on the back end side, but you probably want to stay away from that. So let's take a look at cover 4 with these plays. All right, so cover 4, it's still going to be kind of the same reads, but you've got this deep post right over the middle with Gin, so you can pick up some fairly easy yards. And if you wanted to switch it up, obviously you can switch it up. So if you get an opponent that is, you know, basically sleeping, you can go ahead and attack them on the back end side with Thomas. So I'm not suggesting you go one side to the other. Just the way I like the progressions with it. Another thing you could do too is basically go ahead and take your one guy and put him in a high-low, and what's going to happen is that's going to force your opponent to go ahead and choose which stick he wants to go after. So and you could do a quick out route. This works like a little out. It's fairly effective, but the skinny posts are going to get really crazy separation against cover 4. So if you got a guy that runs a lot of cover 4, I'd probably recommend using the skinny post concept, because that's going to get really good separation for you. So you can attack them different ways with the skinny posts. Cover 4. Let's take a look at the play action. Once again, we're going to slide our line off to the right, so just gives us a little bit better blocking off to the right hand side. And you can check down to this block and release. That's going to be an area that you can go with. I would probably recommend, depending if your opponent is locking up this type of a play, is to leave that the block and release is maybe something you would go ahead and do a playmaker with. But that flat route, unless he's doing hard coverages, should be wide open. And if he does hard coverages, what's going to happen is that backside route will be wide open too. So just very easy completions on the backside of that. And against cover 4, let's take a look at Thomas's route. Nobody gets in the area over there, so you can pretty much rifle that too against cover 4. Let's take a look at the other play, which is going to play action boot left. High-low. So fleeing are in the same area once again. So all the same reads, all the same progressions. The deep post route is not going to be open to you. So this play is going to be high-low, and it's going to allow you to go ahead and pick up fairly easy yards. And let's see if we can get that deep post off. I don't think it's going to happen. No. So got coverage in the area, so the deep post is dead to you. If you're running against an opponent that runs a lot of cover 3, cover 3, cover 4, you might want to just do a little in route, so it gives you another progression on the back side where you can pick up some fairly easy yards. So that's probably what you want to do. So to my subscribers and from my Patreon members, I really appreciate the support, guys. Once again, if you like these breakdowns, make sure you hit the like button, and I'll be rolling out full games of me running these schemes online against online ranked opponents. So once again, thank you for your support, guys, and until next time.